Good morning and welcome to Calvary Assembly of God. It's our Sunday school class. We're going to be discussing the incarnation of Christ. This is the Sunday before Christmas, therefore it's only appropriate to talk about the reason for this season. We looked at Isaiah last week. Isaiah prophesied about 700 years before this event of the incarnation of Christ, and he spoke many prophecies concerning the coming of the Messiah. He said that the virgin will conceive and give birth to a son and will call him Emmanuel, which means God with us. Our pastor Jerry Buttram has done an excellent series of lessons recently concerning the prophecies of Jesus and who he is and that person of Jesus. This is the most important part of our Christian faith, is the person of Jesus Christ. We learned in the recent weeks that one gospel gives the genealogy of Christ from Joseph's standpoint and another gospel from Mary's standpoint. So we see Jesus' inheritance through the promises of the Messiah to the Jewish nation. I want to start in Genesis. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And then we're going to swing right over to the Gospel of John. First chapter, first verse. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God, and all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. He was the Word, and the Word was God. That word, we get that from a Greek word named logos, which is Greek for word. I had a Greek friend once who talked about the meaning of that word and how much more there was to it than just a word that we see in a dictionary on a page. He gave me an illustration of sitting on a bench with a stranger, and they can sit there for hours and never get to know one another. But when they begin to converse, begin to reveal themselves to one another, they tell about the things they like, they don't like. They get to know one another. And without that conversation, it's difficult to really get to know someone. Jesus is the Word. He came in the flesh to show us the way. He revealed the nature of God to us, gave us a pattern to live by. And why would he do such a thing? I like illustrations, and I like these little word pictures we do. He came from the majesty and the glory of heavens. We have no words, literally, to describe where he had come from and the majesty that was his from the very beginning in Archaea, the beginning, the old ancient times. We get our word archaeology from that. But he was in Archaea, the beginning. He came into a miry pit of the world that had fallen into sin. I've gathered a few kind of gross things from my yard here. Dirt and clay and dead leaves. And something drove him, for lack of a better term, to come into this miry pit, because he dwelt among us, showed us a path, and from it he found something, a treasure. I don't know if you can see this, but in the middle of this miry pit of sin, something emerged. And he knew it was there. This precious jewel, his bride, his church. That's you and me. And all who believe. And through his words, he told his disciples that the very words he spoke cleansed them. And he spoke his words over them, and it cleaned them up. And then he washed them in the water of the Word. And just like we discussed in Isaiah last week, he made our sins as white as snow. And that diamond jewel of a church, that's what he came for. And that's what we're to be. Merry Christmas from our house to yours.